Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are watching Demon Slayer Mugen Train, the movie. Oh my gosh. I remember when this movie came out last year and I was like, I cannot wait to watch it. And it's been out for a couple weeks. My brother has begged me to watch it with him, but I was like, I gotta do this reaction first and then we'll sit down and watch it together. So, oh my gosh. I just rewatched season 1 of Demon Slayer in the English dub to prep for this movie because it had been a while since I'd watched Demon Slayer. It had been about, a good year since I watched it last summer. And so I did a recent Soapbox episode, which the link to is down below, where I review season 1. But I'm really excited. I just finished season 1 last night, and so I'm like, everything's fresh. I'm like, awesome. And I really like with this movie that it's going to pick up right where season 1 left off. It's just going to go right into it, and I'm pretty excited about that, along with the fact that it is based strictly off the manga, that they're putting this manga arc into this movie. And I really like that. I like the idea of when you have a transitional arc that's kind of long, but it's long enough to be more than an episode, but it's not long enough to be its own season, that you do like a movie for it. That's really cool. And this is a movie. It's like 2 hours long. So I'm really excited about that, to get a 2-hour movie. That's going to be awesome. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I have no clue what to expect because we know that they've been sent on a mission, that Muzan has given this one demon that was one of the lower 6, the last one remaining, some of his blood to make him stronger, and basically told him, if you bring me Tanjiro, I'll give you even more blood. And so that's the motivation of our villain, of our antagonist. And there's demons on a train. It sounds very Agatha Christie, where it's like Murder on the Orient Express. I'm pretty excited. So yeah, with that being said, let's dive in, shall we? I have a notepad and a pen for notes because I have a feeling with as long as this movie is and me wanting to talk about it afterwards, I'm pretty excited. So I'm curious to see what all UFO Table does with a movie format for this series. And then we'll have season 2 starting this fall. So this will be the transition from season 1 to season 2. So I'm pretty excited. But with that being said, let's start, shall we? We're going to start Demon Slayer Mugen Train here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Well, that was a 2-hour experience. Demon Slayer, it's back, baby. I say that this movie's been out for a year, but oh my gosh, I feel exhausted watching that. That was like, it put me through the emotional ringer. My brother's gonna cry. I teared up there at the end for Rengoku. My brother's gonna straight up bawl. I can already tell he's just gonna weep tears. I'm gonna look over and that solitary tear is gonna be running down his face when Rengoku dies. I'm gonna be like, I knew it. Oh my gosh. That was something. Holy crap. Wow. Okay. Demon Slayer. Gosh. What I love about that is that it picks up right where the season 1 leaves off, and you can just tell where it ends that it is going to pick right back up with season 2. And it's kind of funny because you could probably sum up, I'm sure when they do season 2 and start it, that it's going to sum up everything that just happened on the Demon Train, and with Akaza just showing up, holy crap, and revealing what the top 3 are capable of. Holy crap. So, I took a couple notes, but God, this movie was beautiful. UFO Table is really good with their graphics and their animation and blending 2D and 3D animation. I will say the train looked a bit odd in places, like that obvious CGI and I think the only reason it was kind of weird is because the art style of Demon Slayer is very, very specific and very stylized, and so it doesn't look natural to begin with. Like, the lines are very thick in Demon Slayer. The line work is very thick, and so the CGI, like the worms on the train, had a very James and the Giant Peach vibe. And they did look a little odd, but it was fine. I mean, the movie's gorgeous. The lightning effects, the fire and water effects during Rengoku and Tanjiro and Zenitsu's battles, beautiful. That final battle with Akaza and Rengoku was stunning to look at. Like, just stunning. Absolutely stunning. I'm kind of glad that they made this a movie because they could really go all out with the budget and make it look really nice. Whereas with the TV show, I wonder what it would have looked like. I'm sure it would have looked great. This looked like the TV show, only with a little bit more budget thrown at it. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, amazing. Another thing I love about this is that Muzan is not present at all in the entire film, but you still feel his influence and you still feel his presence and pressure like the whole time. Like he's a type of antagonist that his underlings have just that same aura of him within them as well. And so it's kind of like, even though Muzan was not present at all in the entire film, you still could feel his aura there throughout and like he was there. Oh my gosh. So the master, getting a little bit about the master of the mansion, that he's dying, which is that he's frail and dying, and going through the graveyard and he's saying all the names, and I'm wondering if they're all the names of the Hashira that he said have died under his watch. And I'm assuming that's his wife, and those little girls are his children, which is interesting. But that he's dying. So I wonder if the master of the mansion, if it's always a young person or if it's passed down through generations, if the girls are going to become the masters of the mansion after he passes, how that works. I'm interested to know that. But, oh my gosh. I feel bad for him. And at the end, he's like, I'm not sad. I'm going to join Rengoku soon. It's like, like, I want to know what his purpose is. Like, what his relationship with all the Hashira are. Like, if he's with the Wisteria family, if that's the family crest is through his bloodline, if that has something to do with the demons, like keeping them away, like how that all works. So we get like little teases of that with the master in this movie, and so I'm hoping that we see more of that in this. Tanjiro is a literal saint. He is a patron saint. I can go on about him in this, but Inosuke and Zenitsu, Zenitsu did not bother me at all in this movie. Zenitsu was great. Like, the stuff with his dream of Nezuko, hilarious. When he was asleep and rescued Nezuko, wonderful. Like, him, like, falling asleep, right, like, still asleep, like, holding onto her, like, trying to protect her. I loved it. Zenitsu, you did good this movie. You did good. Inosuke, if you've watched my soapbox, Inosuke kind of has an uphill battle with me because I think he's just a blockhead and he annoys me sometimes in this series. And at the beginning of this movie, I was like, Inosuke, the train, no, stop. But then as it went on, of course, the joke was made into an even bigger joke when he's like, I told you all, we should destroy the train. And it's like, Inosuke, you were right all along. We should have listened to you. But honestly, Inosuke had a little bit of a redemption for me at the end of this when he snapped Tanjiro out and was like, let's go train. And he's like, he was really moved too and like crying. He's like, we just need to just hold it together and move forward, Tanjiro. And it's like, okay, Inosuke, you annoy me to no end, but I'll give you a pass at the end of this because you helped Tanjiro out of his funk. I really think that's interesting. They talked about the breathing techniques and that there's the main elements and that the other ones, like the insect one and the mist one, they're just offshoots. And so I'm guessing the beast breathing is an offshoot of one of them as well. I'm curious to know, they've established that fire and flame breathing are different and that Tanjiro's family has the fire breathing and Rengoku's is the flame breathing. So I'm hoping that in season 2, Tanjiro does go visit. I could totally see season 2 opening with Tanjiro visiting Rengoku's family and seeing Shinjiro and talking to him and learning more about his dad. Like, I could totally see that happening. That would be really interesting. Rengoku's father is interesting. So he's still alive, apparently. The mom's just died, which I find fascinating that Rengoku's dad is still alive. So that's going to be interesting when that meetup happens, because it seems like his father is really, really against Rengoku being a Hashira. I wonder because he thought that Rengoku would be in danger. Probably. But I'm going to be curious if Tanjiro confronts the dad and is like, your son wasn't worthless. Like, he saved all these people and he did his duty and he did good. And then talking to Shinjiro as well. Like, that's going to be an interesting meetup, I can see. Because Tanjiro is so righteous and pure And I could see him being like, no, Rengoku was such a good person and so loyal and reliable until the end. So, yeah, I think that it's interesting, the core. This is the first time we've really talked about the spiritual core of demon slayers, and that if you hurt the core, it will cripple them. So it seems like something that's foreshadowing for later on, like that is going to come back up, because they just briefly touch on it here. But I find it really interesting. The cores are all different for the four of them. So what I find most interesting is Rengoku and Tanjiro's cores. Rengoku is like a fiery pit. Like, Rengoku brings off this kind of weird, blunt, to the point energy where it's kind of played up as a joke at first, and then it becomes his resolve at the end when he's fighting Akaza, where he's like, no, I don't want to become a demon. No, it's fine. We're supposed to die. It's part of what makes life beautiful and fleeting. And it's like, it becomes his resolve and his strength is what we made fun of about him at the beginning of the film. And by the end of it, that's like his defining characteristic, which Tanjiro kind of shares that same unwavering moral compass. But I like that deep down, though, even though he has this facade and persona of being like this optimistic, rather, albeit blunt, but optimistic person, his core is like burning and on fire. And it's like, ooh, there's like this fiery sense of justice. And you compare that to Tanjiro's soul, which is like a perfect crystal clear lake. And that goes back to what Zenitsu said about him in season 1. He was like, this person has the most beautiful, clear sound to him. And it's like, so Tanjiro is a pure soul, a very pure soul. And then you have Inosuke's heart and subconscious, which is just a crevice and a craggy, nasty cave. It's like fitting. And then I find Zenitsu's, his subconscious is just all pitch black. And I find that interesting, which kind of makes sense because Zenitsu doesn't really come alive until he's asleep, and then his powers kind of awaken. So that was really cool. But all of their dreams and everything, and Inosuke saving Tanjiro and helping him. Yeah, Inosuke saving Tanjiro. I thought, oh my gosh, I had to write that down. So, Tanjiro, dude, people can call him a Gary Stu or whatever, but no, Tanjiro is just a really good-hearted person and really kind-hearted. But I'm sorry, the fact that he kept killing himself over and over again to wake up, and that I didn't even think about that, and then when he's about to do it in reality, and Inosuke's like, no, this is not a dream. It's like he'd been doing it over and over again to the point where he thought that it was a dream when it wasn't. That whole dream sequence, I'm sorry, but I don't think I've been that stressed or anxious watching an anime in a long time, because that was some nerve-wracking shit. Like, just sitting there with that dream sequence, and then, like, fighting the demon. We didn't really get his name, did we? The demon that was the dream one. That was some nerve-wracking, anxiety-ridden stuff. Like, I don't know if I could imagine myself being in a theater watching that and being like, I'd have like hives. I'd be like, why is this happening? Stop. I'd have to say something out loud if I'd been in a theater watching this, because I'd be like, oh my god. Even though it was beautiful, the animation was great. I was really surprised that we got 2 antagonists in here. I really thought that the dream demon would be our main antagonist up until the very end. So when they destroyed him, I was like, already? We still got like 40 minutes of this movie left. We still got like 2 episodes worth. Like, if you look at this in terms of being, if it was part of the actual season, this movie would have been like 5 episodes. We would have had like 3 episodes with the sleep demon and like 2 with Akaza. But I'm like, I did not see that coming. So the dream demons, I said lower 1. So it was basically like the number 1 of the lower ranks. And so it was the number 7 one. And the one they just faced, Akaza, was in the top 3. It was in the upper 3. So it's one of the big baddies. It's one of the big ones. And I like the mangaka takes this battle with Rengoku, because we established the whole movie how strong Rengoku is. And then it's like the mangaka's like, okay, cool. We've established how great these Hashira are. Now let's pit them against one of Muzan's greatest fighters and see what happens. It's like, the whole breathing technique, I've wondered that this entire first season of Demon Slayer, how they heal themselves in the midst of battle. And Rengoku teaches him, he's like, oh, it's just, you can focus your breathing and find where blood vessels are bursting, and you can stop them, and that'll stop the bleeding. It's not a go-to fix for everything, but it'll help you in a pinch. It's like, okay, cool. It's not going to regenerate anything, but it's going to repair enough for you to get medical assistance. It's like, good to know. But yeah, Akaza. And this idea that Akaza has of, Akaza's whole thing is like, human life is fleeting. It reminds me a lot of, I'm rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho the same time right now, and it reminds me of the younger Toguro brother, where the younger Toguro brother, he became a demon because he was afraid of growing old and weak and losing his strength, and that's why he became a demon. And this whole time with Akaza, I was like, oh, you're just like younger Toguro. You just don't want to lose your strength, so you became a demon to live forever. And he's trying to convince, just like how younger Toguro tried to convince Genkai to do the same, he's trying to convince Rengoku to do the same too. And of course, neither Genkai nor Rengoku, there was always wayward. And Genkai dies, so it's like, well, we should have known. Should have seen it coming. But I was like, oh man. But here's the thing. He ran off with Tanjiro's sword. Embedded in him. So I'm really curious if he's just going to take it out and chuck it, and they're going to find it and give it back to Tanjiro, or if he's going to take the sword to Muzan, or what's going to happen to it. But either way, how Tanjiro is going to get his new sword back is probably going to be something that comes up in season 2. And those guys that are the swordsmiths, they're going to be so pissed off if Tanjiro's like, so I lost my sword again. They're going to be like, oh no. I also like the idea that Hinokami, we established in this movie that Hinokami does cause Tanjiro a lot of physical exhaustion, because after he uses it to face the dream demon, he is instantly tired. He's like, that took everything out of me, and I got stabbed by that guy, so just not good. And then of course we have Inosuke telling him to move forward. Rengoku, man, I didn't expect him to die in this. When they all got rid of the dream demon, I was like, what's going to happen? And as soon as Akaza showed up, I was like, oh no. Oh, or is he going to die? I honestly thought that both, during the battle, I was like, okay, both Rengoku and Akaza are going to die. They're both going to die. And that's going to be like our lesson of how strong these demons are and how strong the Hashira are. They're going to kill each other. I thought that's what was going to happen. I thought that he was going to get the slice in or keep him there until the sun came up, and then he was going to die right after it. But no, Akaza escaped. So here's the thing. If Tanjiro faces him again, if Tanjiro runs into Akaza again, it's going to be personal. And he's going to be like, you killed Rengoku. And I have a feeling that this show is going to have Akaza be one of the last ones that they face. One of the last bad guys that gets faced. And that's going to be Tanjiro's point to show how much he's learned since Rengoku's death. That's what it's going to be. I'm just saying. I'm just predicting that out there, because a baddie like that's in the top 3, they're going to save him for one of the last ones. It's kind of like, it reminds me of Ulquiorra in Bleach. Ulquiorra, where he was like one of the top ones. I think he was number 4 though, but he was one of the top ones, and he shows up, does some damage, and then he slinks into the background until towards the end of the arc. And it's like, okay, I could see them totally doing that with him. But yeah, the music during Rengoku and Akaza's fight, amazing. The animation, so good. Is this the end-all, be-all Japanese animated movie? No. I mean, it's really, really good. It's really good. Does it deserve to beat out every Japanese movie? I don't know. I said this in the Soapbox review. I think that the pandemic helped this movie out so much because there's nothing else playing, and everybody's like, let's go see Mugen Train. And honestly, if I saw this in theaters, I would probably want to go see it again because it was just that good. I want to go see it again, so I could totally understand the repeat. The animation and the fight scenes were so well done. I could easily see someone going back and rewatching this. I want to rewatch this in the English dub now, is what I want to do, because I like Tanjiro and Zenitsu's voice actors, so I want to see them redo this. So I'll definitely want to go see that again. There were some jokes in this movie that I feel are more like geared towards Japanese culture, like it's some inside jokes, like especially the way when they're having the dream sequence of Inosuke's and Tanjiro and them are animals. That felt like it was like an inside joke. Like if you watched a certain Japanese show, you'd get what they're making fun of or referencing, and I didn't know. It was just kind of comical. I love that Nezuko's a bunny in Inosuke's mind. And then there was a couple little moments where I thought that the animation was maybe hinting at like an inside joke that you'd get if you were from Japan or if you knew the pop culture reference. But yeah, oh my gosh. It's not the end all be all anime movie, but it's pretty darn good. I mean, I teared up. There were surprises. The action and choreography was beautiful. I think overall, the main thing that this movie has done is made me excited for season 2, and it's renewed my interest in the series because we get little teasers, little tiny teasers of the upper moons and the upper 6 moons. We get like a little teaser. There's like a female one that's in there. There's one that looks like a freaking genie. Akaza kind of looks like a genie with the big MC Hammer pants. Like there's little teases of what's to come, and I'm really excited about that. And we got to see Shinobu and Kanao together, and everybody like what all the Hashira are doing. It looks like the Mist Hashira is like on a mission somewhere. Like it's all. I'm really curious why the one brother with the white hair that I don't like, his younger brother is the one with the scars and the black hair, and he's training with the Stone Hashira. So I'm really curious about that. That should be interesting. But I like that even the crow during the scene where Rengoku dies, even the crow's like it couldn't even say anything. It just had tears and just left. It's like But this was a good movie. This was really good. I'm excited to watch it with my brother because he's going to cry. I already know. He likes Rengoku a lot. He liked Rengoku a lot in the last season. And I was like, oh, as I was watching this, I was thinking, my brother is going to totally hate that he dies. And I will gleefully sit by and watch and not say a word. Oh, that was just so good. So yeah, I'm hyped for season 2. I'm pretty excited now. It should be fun. It should be good. It'll happen in the fall. My Hero Academia is going to end. And so I probably won't replace My Hero Academia. I'll probably wait until Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man come out because I want to see those 2 series. Those 2 shonen, I want to see them. So I'll probably not replace My Hero Academia. I'll let it kind of that spot. There's another show that I'll be watching throughout at that time. And then when Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man come out, we'll just watch those. So I'm pretty excited, but I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are below. I'm definitely going to watch this in the English dub, and I think my brother's going to want to watch this in the English dub because he likes the dub too, so that'll be exciting. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for watching this movie with me. I hope you enjoyed the reaction, but please feel free to comment down below. Please no manga spoilers because I'm anime only with Demon Slayer, but if you want to talk about the movie and about Rengoku, R.I.P. man. But I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe and take care. And I'll be back soon with more reactions.